the conclusion that my colleague, Dr. Joe Spangolano, came to and wrote that piece about trust, that Justin Trudeau, in a very, in 6 years, when you think about it, that he's gone from nearly unbeatable as a perception to now potentially facing defeat in this election, that he came in with a huge lead. That really it's about him, and that Canadians have lost trust in Justin Trudeau, and it matches with what we're hearing sort of more anecdotally from different candidates and people out there, telling us more. Well, they like the Liberals, they like the plan, but they don't like him. So, on the ballot box question, which I think is going to be, do you trust Justin Trudeau? I think that's a ballot box question the Liberals lose in the end.
Wow.
It's still too early to tell.
Yeah. No, I get that.
For sure.
I was going to ask you about, and I hope I have time to ask you about battlegrounds, but I've got to ask this question because it ties into what you're saying and what we've seen on the campaign trail for the last 7 or 8 days. How angry is the electorate?
I'm not sure that it's angry. I think there's a lot of frustration and anxiety. It's been a difficult year and a half. There's a lot of, we've all acknowledged sort of the challenges of the pandemic on mental health. We've been through 3, now entering potentially in the middle of or starting a 4th wave, depending on your perspective. Potential for another lockdown. I think all these things has put people in kind of a not the best mood. And I think I talked at the beginning of this campaign about what happened in Afghanistan, and that things like that tend to be sort of these emotional triggers. And that further sort of put people in a foul mood. We knew that people didn't want an election because they told us, 65% of Canadians before the election said, and now they're kind of mad. They're going to punish whoever is calling an election. And if you're an incumbent, if you're Doug Ford or somebody else out there who's having an election next year, I'd be a little worried, because I think the electorate is in the mood to punish people right now, and not necessarily because of anything real, but they're just, it's been a difficult couple of years.
It has been indeed. So we've got about a minute and a half left. So I'd love to get you talked about regions and demographics a little bit earlier. What do you see as the key battlegrounds?
Yeah, you're going to hear everybody talk about the same 2 regions. Really, it comes down to the 905 and then in Quebec, sort of the North Shore, South Shore, Eastern townships. So, I always reference my bellwether riding is always Shefford in Quebec. It's the one where the Liberals won it in 2015. They lost it to the Bloc in 2019. We have them leading there again now, but it's very, very close, could flip. And then the 905, part of the reason why I think Aaron O'Toole had presented such a centrist platform for Conservative Party, including a carbon tax this time, is because he knew he had to appeal that nothing short of a carbon tax or climate change plan, something that came close, would appeal there. And it seems largely to be working. And there's a few other small pieces, like his proposal on animal cruelty, which I thought was very, very interesting.
Yeah.